Hi and welcome back. This is Daniela and Buda, and today we're going to be talking about failing diets in 2021. 2020 struck a nerve when it came to weight loss as well. I've seen so many people undergoing amazing transformations to become the best version of themselves. However, I've also seen many people letting themselves go a bit, myself included. And that's okay. My weight loss journey is still one of the aspects in my life where I still fail a lot. But failing also counts as progress as long as you don't give up. So today I'll speak about what I've learned from my failings and about the things that I really wish I knew and understood. For me at least, this is the most important element of any sort of journey, transformation, anything you want to stick to and have results, and I cannot stress this enough. There is no such thing as motivation, or actually there is, but it's quick, it's impulsive, and it's temporary. The more restrictive your diet is, the more discipline you need. Discipline can be translated, or is, consistency, sticking to a schedule, focusing on showing up as opposed to focusing on results, planning your meals, predicting your weak spots and potential failing triggers, controlling your environment to minimize relapse, forgiving yourself when you fail, and getting back on track. Discipline is the mechanism, the how that makes the results possible. That's hardly ever spontaneous, random, or with little thought put into it. So besides the mechanism, discipline also makes you ask yourself all these questions that bring you closer to yourself. This process is incredibly transformative and intimate. The process itself of figuring out how to deal with this teaches you more about yourself, takes you further and further, and by further I mean closer and within. That's why the most successful people, when it comes to discipline, have this like aura around them. They have this balance, they have this calm and respect around them because of how deep inside they went to find it in them to continue, to overcome, to plan, to conquer. Discipline comes from within. Everything you need is already inside of you. Moving on, the next part is about our brains are wired or accustomed to be goal-orientated or goal-obsessed. It's just like when we're kids and we've had an exam and everyone asks us, okay, but how much did you get? What was your final grade? It's almost as if the grade validates the experience. However, the experience itself and the knowledge accumulated every step of the process is so much more valuable than the final grade. I made this sound a bit general, but stick with me, I'm making a point. So instead of obsessing over your ideal weight, process that also creates this distance between you and the goal that sometimes feel unattainable. So instead of obsessing over something that feels so far out, focus on showing up. Focus on training 5 days in a row. Focus on training 5 days in a row for 2 weeks. A well-established process will inevitably lead to noticeable and substantial results. Showing up and barely doing anything will always count more than not showing up. Okay, this is a tough one. Let me say that again. Do it for yourself. Everyone's weight loss journey is so damn different, it feels surreal. People don't want to do the same mistakes twice, and they advise you based on their own experiences on the things you should or shouldn't do. But do your research, draw your conclusions, fight your demons, and just do it for yourself. Don't do it for the result only. That's not doing it for yourself. To make it less general, I realized that working out, for me, was strongly linked to weight loss. So at times when I gave up on everything, I gave up on discipline, I was less focused on weight loss because, something else was happening in my life, I would stop working out altogether. And it took me a while to change that story and realize that I want to go for myself. Weight loss will come, but until then, I want to go for the million other reasons why working out makes me feel so much better and so much stronger. It's proven on all possible ways that working out and generally caring what you eat is essential. But until you don't make a conscious decision for yourself, no one can convince you that all these things are good for you until you truly understand it for yourself. Whether you're happy or miserable or heartbroken, or you've had a great day or you've had a horrible day, or you're in shape or far from your ideal shape, in spite of all those variables, do it for yourself. Going back to obsessing over our goals. This is something that I've learned. There's no point obsessing over this. It should be a process. It should be part of your daily life. It shouldn't be like an obsession that only gets validated whenever you've achieved it. So there is absolutely no point of going on the scale after your first damn workout. I've realized quite late how mentally draining this process was for me. I don't know why I think of this example, but it felt as if I was given like this giant sphere ball made of concrete, and I would just need to hold it until the end of the process with obviously no end date. It just felt like this weight that I just had to hold permanently. I couldn't stop obsessing and thinking about meal plans and workouts. It was just so draining. I thought about this 24/7. I'm not an athlete kind of, so it wasn't normal for me to spend this much energy. It just felt like there's nothing left to me than this process. When in fact, dramatically speaking, if I were to be gone tomorrow, this is not something I would be remembered by at all. This was just something that was in my head that I was obsessing over and over again. Obsessing gets you closer to giving up. It shouldn't take this much energy from you. So by having a discipline and having a plan, it should make your life easier. It should cut down on your decision-making time. Just setting a system in place so you don't overthink it, because we all know what overthinking does. So just figure out what you can live with, what you want the outcome to be, what you're willing to sacrifice and invest, and make a realistic formula for yourself that doesn't drain you. Please remember, you are a lot tougher than you think. Which leads me to my next point. Our favorite. Obsessing, as well as self-sabotaging, is a process of the mind, is a process of the ego. Our mind is the worst enemy when it comes to weight loss. Any change that you want to do towards this direction, which will trigger your brain into thinking that something's not okay and you should, if anything, overcompensate as opposed to comfortably accepting this change. Our mind tends to set limits for us, and usually it sets really low limits, but this doesn't have anything to do with what the body can actually do. It's just a limitation of your mind. It's just like people's reaction when you talk about lifting heavy weights. They get so shocked or scared when it comes to weightlifting, and this doesn't have anything to do with what their body can physically do and achieve and is actually comfortable. It just has to do with their mental limitation. So I'm begging you, please start acting like the tough cookie or the bad bitch that you are. There's only so much crying for yourself that you can do. This would be a fantastic time for you to subscribe. Thank you. I am in no way qualified to speak about weight loss or nutrition in any way. I don't want to influence you. I don't want you to do the same things that I'm doing. But I think when it comes to weight loss, people struggle mentally because we believe all of our excuses, everything that we tell ourselves, we believe, we obsess about these things, we self-sabotage ourselves, we do it for the wrong reasons, we don't have a process and we don't have discipline. And that just makes it very easy, quickly, and painfully for us to fail again. Every time I failed, it was different, it was shorter. I got back on track much quicker because I tried to educate myself both on how the body works and how my mind works. Thank you for watching. Achieved it.